Welcome back to the channel, guys. We need to talk about Chad DiMera and Kat Greene and Belle Black and EJ, because the writers are basically setting up a massive ticking time bomb for the summer sweeps, and I can already see the explosion from a mile away. You guys know what I'm talking about. The custody agreement. Let's just rewind a second and look at how completely insane this entire setup is. Chad literally signed a legally binding document, a piece of paper drafted by actual lawyers, stating that he would not pursue a romantic relationship with Kat Greene. He did this to appease Jack and Jennifer Devereaux so they would back off their threat to take full custody of Thomas and Charlotte. Who actually believes this is going to end well? I mean, who signs a contract about their love life in the first place? But Chad did it. He did it because he was desperate to keep his kids, which, okay, I get it. As a dad, he was backed into a corner, but come on. This is Salem. A piece of paper isn't going to stop two people who clearly have this weird, magnetic, undeniable pull toward each other. And let's be real about why Jack and Jennifer demanded that clause in the first place. Kat Greene didn't just roll into town and accidentally spill coffee on Chad. No, she came into Salem pretending to be Abigail Devereaux. She literally pretended to be Chad's dead wife and the mother of his children. Thomas was so incredibly traumatized by the whole thing. The poor kid thought his mom was back from the dead, only to find out it was a total lie orchestrated to protect Kat's real mom from Clyde Weston. It was messy. It was cruel. And Thomas has every right to hate Kat. Jack and Jennifer have every right to want her a million miles away from their grandchildren. So you'd think Chad would just be like, yeah, absolutely, I will never look at this woman again. But no. Instead, they are doing this agonizing we are just friends dance. They bump into each other in the town square. They share these long, lingering looks, and they act like we don't see the sparks flying. It's so frustrating to watch. It's like, Chad, what are you doing? You are playing with fire, and you're standing in a puddle of gasoline. But here is where the summer spoilers just throw a massive wrench into everything. Thomas and Charlotte are leaving. Chad is sending the kids off to Boston to spend the summer with Jack and Jennifer. On paper, this sounds like a great idea. The kids get to see their grandparents. They get away from the DiMera mansion toxicity, and Chad gets a break. But do you see the massive, glaring problem here? The only reason Chad has been keeping his distance from Kat is because of the kids. He doesn't want Thomas to see them together. He doesn't want to trigger another custody war. But with the kids in Boston, the physical barrier is gone. The daily reminder of his promise to Jack and Jennifer is literally in another state. And you just know, you absolutely know, the writers are going to use this empty house as the perfect excuse for Chad and Kat to finally cross that line. They are going to surrender to the temptation. It's practically guaranteed at this point. I can already picture the scene. It'll be a late night, maybe a thunderstorm. They'll be arguing about something stupid, and then boom, they're ripping each other's clothes off. And honestly, what makes this whole thing so much worse is Belle Black. Poor, sweet, brilliant Belle. She finally gets a decent storyline, right? She's dating Chad. They went on that cute baseball date with the kids. They got caught on the kiss cam. They've been investigating Stefano's creepy missing pawn chess set together. It actually looked like they were building a solid foundation, but Belle is walking straight into a woodchipper here. Chad is clearly using her as a distraction. I mean, maybe I'm being too harsh on Chad. Maybe he really does like Belle. Okay, that sounded dramatic, but you get what I mean. He likes her, but he's not consumed by her the way he is with Kat. If Chad and Kat hook up while the kids are in Boston, Belle is going to be completely blindsided. And let's not forget, Belle is Marlena's daughter. Marlena already has these terrifying premonitions about the chess set investigation going sideways. Imagine how Marlena is going to react when she finds out Chad broke her daughter's heart because he couldn't keep his hands off the woman who impersonated Abigail. It's going to be a bloodbath. So let's talk about the other massive elephant in the room, EJ DiMera. My God, EJ is going to absolutely lose his mind. EJ is currently entangled with Kat, and he genuinely believes he has her on lock. He thinks they have this deep, soulful connection. He's been reading Wuthering Heights to her, trying to trigger her memories of their time in that weird Italian hospital. EJ is completely obsessed. And we all know EJ. He is a possessive, ruthless, arrogant monster when he feels slighted. If he finds out that Kat, the woman he is currently trusting with all his dark secrets, the woman he is falling for is secretly hooking up with his own brother, EJ will go scorched earth. The brotherly rivalry between Chad and EJ is already tense because of the whole DiMera Enterprises mess and EJ's failing Versavic's drug cover-up. But throwing a cheating scandal with Kat into the mix, EJ will try to destroy Chad. He won't just yell at him, he will systematically try to ruin Chad's life. And, you know, sometimes I zoom out and look at the bigger pattern of this show and I just have to ask, what were they thinking with Kat's character? Because let's not forget her actual agenda. Kat is a undercover ISA agent. She was recruited by Shane Donovan. She is working with Rafe Hernandez to take down EJ and expose his illegal resurrection drug lab. She is supposed to be a professional spy, but instead of focusing on the mission, she's getting tangled up in a messy love triangle with two DiMera brothers. If she sleeps with Chad, she is compromising her entire ISA mission. How is she supposed to maintain her cover with EJ if she's sneaking around with Chad? EJ is already paranoid. He's already acting like Stefano reincarnated. If Kat slips up, and she will, because people in Salem always leave a stray piece of clothing or a text message lying around, EJ will uncover her ISA ties and her affair with Chad all at once. The fallout will be biblical. But let's circle back to the absolute worst case scenario here. Thomas, what happens when the summer ends? Or worse, what if Thomas comes home early from Boston? This is Days of Our Lives. Kids never stay where they are supposed to. Imagine the sheer horror if Thomas walks into the DiMera mansion and catches his dad with the woman who mentally tortured him by pretending to be his dead mother. It would destroy that little boy. And Thomas is smart. He wouldn't just cry, he would immediately call Grandpa Jack. And Jack and Jennifer would be on the first flight back to Salem with an army of lawyers. Chad's custody agreement would be ripped to shreds. He would lose his kids. And for what? A summer fling with Kat Greene? It's just so incredibly reckless. I find myself yelling at the screen telling Chad to just stay with Belle and focus on the chess set mystery. But no, he's gonna blow up his entire life. I mean, I can't even process how messy this is gonna get. It's just so frustrating. The writers are literally dangling this temptation in front of us, and part of me wants the drama, but the other part of me feels so bad for Abigail's memory. Abigail was the love of Chad's life, and now he's going to risk his children for the woman who wore her face. It feels like a betrayal to the whole legacy of their relationship, but I guess that's soap operas for you. They build these epic romances just to tear them down and drag the characters through the mud. And Chad is definitely heading for the mud. The mud, the dirt, the absolute bottom of the barrel. I change my mind every 5 minutes about whether I actually want Kat and Chad together, but right now, it feels like a massive mistake. So, what do you guys think? Are you rooting for Chad and Kat to finally give into this forbidden chemistry? Or are you, like me, terrified of the absolute carnage it's gonna cause? Because if they hook up, Belle is devastated, EJ goes on a murderous rampage, Jack and Jennifer launch a legal nuke, and poor Thomas needs a lifetime of therapy. It's a disaster waiting to happen. But honestly, I'll be glued to my screen watching every single second of it. Let the summer of sin begin, because Salem is about to burn to the ground.